everything. Here are your steps. You will want to refer back to these on occasion. We need to find common denominators here. So looking at the two denominators, you have your components of. The 2 and the 5 are your number part, so we will choose a 10. And they each have the monomial part of x, so of course that needs included. It does not cancel each other out. There's no deleting anything. If they both have it, you only need to include it once. Then you're asking yourself, what did I multiply 2x to get to 10x? Well, I multiplied it by 5, and so I also must do the same on top. And I'm asking myself, what did I multiply 5x by to get to 10x? Well, it was a 2, and so I do the same on top. And so on the top left, I now have a 15, and on the top right, I now have a 22. Again, once we have the common denominator, we keep it, and then we do add the terms that are alike across the top. If that could reduce, I would reduce it. Looking at our components of an LCD, we're going to need both parts of the binomials to make a common denominator. And if I ask myself, what did I multiply by this x minus 2 to get to my new denominator? Well, I multiplied it by an x plus 8. And I ask myself, what did I multiply this x plus 8 by to get to my new denominator? I multiplied it by an x minus 2. And I do need to distribute here. And so on the top left, I now have a 15x plus 120. And on the top right, I now have a 3x minus 6. Once I have that common denominator, I keep it. I add like terms across the top. So across the top, I have a 15x with a 3x and a 120 with a negative 6. I do GCF that, taking out a 6 in this case, just to see if anything could have been crossed out at the end. And even if it can't, we want our final answer in factored form. Let's do a few more of this. We're looking at between a 9 and a 4. That would be 36. And between the x and the x squared, we always choose the larger. What did I multiply 9x by to get to 36x squared? Well, that was a 4x. What did I multiply 4x squared by to get to 36x squared? That was a 9. Top left now is an 8x. Top right now is a 27. Keep the denominator that you found in common. Add like terms across the top, which they are not. And if I could have GCF'd the top, I would have. When your components are not separated on the denominators for you, you do need to factor that first. So go ahead and take out a GCF here and here, then look through your 3 components. For my least common denominator, I look at a number part. Between 2 and 4, I'm at 4. I look at a monomial part. I need the larger of the 2 exponents, and I look at the binomial part, in which case, since they are different, I do need to include both. Kind of a lot going on this denominator. And so then I ask myself on the left, what did I do to get from 2 to 4? Multiplied by a 2. X squared to x squared, no change. Binomials, yes, another x minus 3. On the right, what did I do to get from 4 to 4? Nothing. From x to x squared, I need an additional x, and binomial-wise, I need an x plus 2. Kind of a lot going on the top here. So right here, I have 2 times x minus 3. I'll make that 4 and distribute it. Over here, I have a 3x that I'm going to distribute. Keep the denominator that you found in common. Combine like terms across the top. On the top, I've got a negative now, 3x squared. I've got a 4x minus a 6x. And I've got that minus 12. I am going to GCF out at least a negative 1 so that I can see if coefficient factoring would work right here. Keep the denominator. And so I'm looking to see if there's anything that multiplies up to 36 that adds up to 2. I'm not finding anything, so this is as simplified as it can go. But I do leave it with that GCF out front. All right, last couple here. We do want to factor first if we can't tell what our components are right away. Okay, no numbers, no monomials, but I do have 2 binomials. I only need to include the x plus 4 once because it's 1 on each side. And looking at the left, I already had all parts of that denominator, so no changes need to happen on top. On the right, I did multiply the bottom by an x plus 3, which means I need to multiply the top by an x plus 3. Keep that bottom that you found. Add like terms across the top. 2 minus 5 and 12 minus 15, in which case I'll GCF out a -3 to see if I could cross anything out, which I can't. Coefficient factoring here on the right. I'm looking to multiply something up to -6 and add up to -5. And at least one of those always will reduce. So here's my factoring before I've even started. Now I can pick out an LCD of, they both included that 2x plus 1, and then this does also need that x minus 3, in which case the right-hand side had everything it needed, and the left-hand side needs that x minus 3 with the 3x distributed in. Go across the top, nothing is like terms, so I just write it out. I do check to see if that can coefficient factor, if there would be anything that could multiply up to 30, add up to -9. Do check for that, just in case it could not. So that is our completed answer.